Welcome back to ESA Summer. We are raising money for Save the Children. Links to donate can be found below the stream. We would also like to thank Twitch and ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. And now, it's time for RuffledBricks, running Lemmings Paintball. Let's go!
Thank you very much. Yes, it is I, RuffledBricks, and I am joined on backing vocals tonight by a multiple world record holder of this game, Dr. Entropy.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction.
No worries. So we're going to be doing a speed run of the Mayhem difficulty of the game, which is the hardest 22 levels in the game. One thing I'm going to do before we start is just switch the music off, because as much as the soundtrack is an absolute belter, it does add between 3 to 5 seconds of loading time between every level. So sadly, that's going to have to go. We're going to start the first level of Mayhem in 3, 2, 1, go. So, this is Lemmings Paintball, and you might be looking at this thinking this doesn't look anything like the Lemmings that I'm familiar with from my childhood, the 2D skill-based puzzle game. And in fact, this is actually a point-and-click isometric shoot-'em-up, where the object is, in each level we get up to 4 lemmings, and we have to guide them to grab all of the flags, of which there can be 4 in any one level. This first level is pretty easy, of Mayhem. There's a lot of irritating bric-a-brac around the level, but basically as long as you know where you're going, then you can get the one flag that you need very easily by hitting that switch, opening the barrier, and boom.
It kind of feels like a puzzle game almost.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'd say, because this is not necessarily one of the most beloved games in the Lemmings pantheon, but I think Doctor will agree with me on this, that it is definitely one of the best for speedrunning.
It takes a lot of skill, in my opinion.
Yeah. So let's talk about what we're doing then. So this is level 2. This is called Let's Split. We've just had a lemming die on what we like to call the lemon balls there, that trap there. That's absolutely fine. We only have 3 flags to collect in this level, so we're fine. Sending them over the catapult, and we're going to do our first little out-of-bounds trick coming up. Doctor, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so these walls here, they're just too tall for you to walk up on, but if you hit this switch coming here, then you will be able to traverse this gate and actually get up on the wall just before it reaches the bottom when the gate is going down. And then you'll get out of bounds. And that really helps us in this level.
Yeah, this is a significant shortcut throughout the level, because if you may have noticed from the beginning of the level, there's like a crossroads that you start on, hence the name Let's Split. And it's implied that you need to go through each of the 4 different crossroads, but actually we're only going down one. And just need to time this right here. I think we timed that right. Let's see. Yes. So a lot of the stuff on this will be happening off screen, but if you look down the bottom, you'll notice that the purple lemming did grab the flag. He also has just been killed by a green hand coming out of a tunnel, which is one of the many innovative traps that there are in this game. But fortunately, because he's got the flag, it doesn't matter. The game counts that as a win. Now, this is level 3. This is called Vortex, and this is the first of the 3 levels in this Mayhem that are basically just a dense network of slides. And we have a skip coming up here, which Dr. Entropy actually found, so I'll allow him to explain that as we attempt it.
So what RuffledBricks did in the beginning was to click at a certain tile in the game to get his lemmings to get as fast as possible onto the slippery road, and then that platform that was patrolling just before, that's what he tried to get the earliest possible time step to that, because then you can get ahead in this level. Otherwise, you'd have to do a lot of more movement, and I think it saves like 15 seconds in total.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something
and then here's the other quick speed strat here. So there is a switch there that purple uses to activate that staircase. However, there's also a pressure plate on the staircase that reverses the height of it. And what we did there was that we had the lemming go across the pressure plate at the same time that we activated the switch, which actually cancels out the changing height of it so that we could walk straight up it.
Sort of interrupting it, essentially.
Yeah, basically. This is level 4. This is called Those Magnificent Lemmings, and this is the first level with balloons in it.
At
in
least
Mayhem,
first
at
in
least.
Mayhem, yeah.
Yeah, well, the first that we need to use them for. Do you want to explain how the balloons work?
Yeah, so the balloons will send you off to these, what's that, pylons or something?
I call them termini.
Terminals, yeah. And
balloon
whatever the
terminals.
color is, that's like a blue balloon will send you to the blue terminal and so on. Yeah, that's basically how they work, and you have to click on the balloons to actually go. While in the air, you're immune to shots, so you can just safely float over.
And you can walk around with the balloons as well. So you don't have to like activate them from the position that you land in. You can activate them wherever.
There will be a lot of sort of maybe confusing to the layman camera movement. That's because RuffledBricks is just multitasking all the time to hit different switches.
Yeah, this is what we call movement juggling in the game, where we're basically just trying to move 2 or sometimes even 3 or 4 lemmings around the map at the same time, which, can be quite hard to follow if you're not familiar with the game. But rest assured, it does make the game faster, and that's the main aim. So this level is called Teaching a Lemming New Tricks. You're supposed to use all 4 of your lemmings to do this, but we're just going to do it mostly with just the one. Now, we're operating these moving platforms, which you're supposed to use your teammates for, but actually we're just going to operate them for ourselves using a technique called queue stacking, which is that when you hit a switch like this twice, then it actually activates 2 movements in a row for these movement platforms. So the moving platform actually registers the second movement and will do that immediately after the first movement is done. You can only do that twice, though. And is that your dog offering some commentary there as well? That's all right.
Yeah.
No worries. So we couldn't get the third member of the Lemmings Paintball speedrunning team, Stubbsy, in for this one, sadly. So Doctor's dog has offered to fill in the gaps in certain places.
Yeah, he'll help out just a bit.
Mm-hmm. So this is... do you want to talk a little bit about this level?
This one you also...
what it's called.
I think it's Lemmings in the Works, if I recall the title. I didn't read it. Yeah, so what RuffledBricks is doing, he's splitting up his lemmings to go on different roads. One of them has to hit a switch to get onto his flag. The other 2 he's sending down to a moving platform, which at specific times that in-game timestamps will be in a position where they will carry over his lemmings. And then the third one will come in later. So this one, as far as I remember, this one is actually independent of each other. Like the varying paths are independent of each other. They don't actually do anything.
Yeah, that's correct. Like most of the levels in Mayhem, the ones that have 2 paths in it, the paths do intersect in some way. So there'll be switches on one path that you'll need to activate to allow the lemmings to progress on the other path. But this is a rare exception in that, like, the 2 paths have nothing to do with each other whatsoever. So it's a very oddly designed level.
And now RuffledBricks is doing a bunch of queue stacking also too.
Yeah,
because there's one switch at the end here where blue is at, controls several different things: a moving wall up and down, the final one there, and also these moving platforms.
Yeah, this is the loudest level in the game. This is
called your sheeps out.
Yeah,
your boss.
Oh. Okay, I'm restarting that one because I didn't want all 4 of them to move at once. So, but yeah, this is called Lemmings in the Woods. The sheep that you can hear and see contribute nothing to the level other than just shouting a lot and getting shot by the enemy lemmings. So
they do get shot, so they actually will like stop the lemmings from shooting at you if they are closer to the enemy lemming. Yeah. So in principle, I guess they are kind of targeting dummies for the enemies.
Yeah,
in a sense. Other than that, they're just annoying.
Yeah, literally all you needed to do is find some hidden flags behind some trees and that's all we needed to do. This is the joint shortest level in Mayhem. This is called the 12 Assassins of Lemming. Once we hit these switches, 12 enemy lemmings are going to come out and try and shoot them, but because we did them at the same time, we basically managed to get away from them so quickly that they didn't have a chance to shoot us. So
yeah, as soon as you capture all the flags, you're done. You can't get killed.
Yeah. Now, Doctor, you did quite a bit of work on this level recently, so do you want to talk about this one?
Oh yeah, this one's it's kind of just a long level where you have to move a bunch. There are a bunch of hidden traps, so RuffledBricks will be avoiding certain tiles, and you can't even tell that there are traps there. So just be or that if you ever want to run this. And then your yellow lemming has to walk all the way around the edge of the map to get a switch. So that's also something he's doing while he's moving all the other lemmings simultaneously. The blue and purple will try and get into the middle where there are 2 platforms with trampolines, and he needs to hit some switches to actually get those get some walls raised so that blue and purple can get enough drop on the trampolines to actually make it to the flags. If he doesn't, then they would just fall into the flames. So the further you fall down on a trampoline, the further you will fly forward with the trampoline. And also,
no, go on. Were you about to explain what I just did with the trampoline there?
Yeah, so he was also setting them up both at the same time almost. If you don't have your lemming selected, there's actually a glitch where the trampoline will just move you forward 1 tile, and then that means RuffledBricks would go into the flames. But what he did was he selected them just as they hit the trampoline, so they make the full path. So that's how that works.
Yeah, it's a very, very odd glitch, but we found a way to work around it. This level is called Dead End Lemming Strikes Back. One of the recurring themes in this game is, much like the original Lemmings, there are maps that actually get repeated in the game, so they come back in later levels in a more difficult format. This is actually a repeat of a level called Dead End Lemming from the taxing selection of levels, and there's a box there with a key in it. We're going to ignore that and all other boxes with keys in it in this level, because we're actually going to do a little skip coming up that circumvents all of the barriers that we need the keys for. However, before that, we've got a little bit of time in this level for a donation, if there's any to read out.
Sure. Just what I want to say is that we do have not long left for our Spore naming incentive, so do get your donations in for that. But also, as we haven't talked about them in a while, there are some fabulous prizes on offer. If you donate a combined total of $50 across the course of the marathon, you will be entered into a draw to potentially win a Sony PS5, including Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. There are also other prizes available at the $35, $30, $25 and $10 level. So you can check out those out at prizes.esamarathon.com.
And here is the skip.
Yeah. So
and we failed. We're back to the beginning on that one.
Okay. Well, we
have
a long walk. This game is not forgiving at all. I will say that. One misstep and you have to restart the entire thing. And this particular level is one of the longer ones in the game. So you'll see this beautiful maze all over again. What RuffledBricks was trying to do and did successfully for the most part, he set his purple lemming at a specific point where a wall will come up once red lemming walks over a certain tile. And then that puts him up on the walls of the level, and that means you can just skip the end part of this, so to speak. And that's why he can avoid those boxes that you'll see in the level. He can avoid grabbing there are keys in those. He can avoid grabbing that. They will open barriers normally, but since we don't care and we do the skip, RuffledBricks is gonna ignore all the boxes in this level.
It's that was very unfortunate kill there, that one. I think that was possibly the last possible pixel before we got the flag. Because in fact, it actually skipped the death animation for the level.
So if you're on like an edge, either coming up or down, and the enemy shoot, it will skip the death animation. Normally, you'll have a few seconds just enjoying that your lemming just died from getting shot.
Those barriers up there, the ones that look like barbershop poles, those were the ones that the keys are used for, by the way. But right, so let's try this again. So here we go, around the corner. Just need to go in slightly close there to avoid getting hit. And purple is very low on ammo here. I must have really overused it to compensate for what happened. But here we go, sending red around. He's again going to activate the dead ends. There we go.
Oh yeah, Lemmings, they start with 25 shots, is that right?
We got it.
Good.
We got it, good. That was second attempt, thank goodness, because I didn't want to do that again.
Well, this is another big confusion level where RuffledBricks is just doing tons of multitasking, or movement juggling as we call it.
Yeah, this is A very nicely laid out level, actually, this one. I made a map for this in Google Sheets, which you can find on speedrun.com, and I think it really does look pretty from above, but it's quite a difficult level to do because pretty much at the end of every slide, you're thrust into an encounter with an enemy lemming. And here, where we go to the flags, we actually get 2 per flag. So let's see if we can actually... Okay, we got that one.
This is a reset-prone level.
We got them both on the first attempt, which is good.
This is a very reset-prone level.
Yeah. Well, actually, you can, at the end, use the other lemmings as backup, but yeah, we didn't need to.
Right.
This is a very quick level. Dr. Etch could be able to explain why.
Yeah, so we found a skip just to get to the flag almost immediately. So he'll send yellow lemming down to a switch, and apparently you could just drop down from a wall and then walk around a corner, and the lemming will find its own way, and then you'll just walk purple and blue on and get the flag. So
yeah, it's a huge back route in that level, actually. Mayhem's usually pretty good at stopping back routes, but that one's a massive oversight.
You'll notice in this level, Babylon 5, they have these red fire pits on the walls, so you can't do any out of bounds in this level at all.
Yeah.
So that's why normally, like, we actually argued whether or not the skips are intentional, because they seem to know in Babylon 5 what to do in terms of design, but who knows what the devs intended.
So this is quite a complicated level. I'll do my best to explain it as best I can because there's a lot of moving parts to this one.
Yeah, I'm not even sure I understand it. So
yeah, okay. So these switches here deactivate the slides, but they do that by releasing an enemy lemming onto the pressure plates, and it walk back and forth over the pressure plate at certain intervals. So you can basically do a run for it like that, and if you hit the right timing, you will get free. The reason you need to do those switches is so that we can actually get past these slides here, and then here's the second lot of sliding platforms here, and this time we need to make our secondary lemmings, blue and red, walk around the perimeter here without sliding in. If they slide in, it pretty much a reset. I'm going to activate these switches while they do, because this is going to again deactivate the sliding platforms here so that we can get past, and then we hit these switches here, and this releases the gates so we can actually get to the flags. Now, before we can get down to that middle section so we can do that, we need to kill these off, and then I'm going to stand my lemming here. That enemy lemming is now on the side of a pressure plate, which means that yellow can actually get free of the slide that he was trapped in there. So now we've got these 2 lemmings here who are going to head to the flags. Just getting some ammo for yellow here, because as you might have noticed, we have to shoot quite a lot of gates in this to actually open them. We also just shot that lift there, and behind that lift is actually a pressure plate that deactivates the slide we just walked across. And just need to shoot. This is the last ambush that we have of enemies.
You may have noticed there are clocks floating around in the levels often. And very good. And if you run out of time on the in-game timer, you will actually fail the level. But since we're speedrunners, that's not really a concern.
I think my muscle memory must be like messed up there, because I just kept on selecting purple even though it was the wrong lemming. But there we go. This is Lemming Aid, this level is called, which is a title that I think was used in one of the original Lemmings games. And
this is what we call a codependent level, where one lemming is pulling a lot of switches, moving the other one forward, and the one forward is gonna pull a switch to move the first one forward, and so forth.
And all of these moving platforms are operated by just that switchboard of 3 switches there. So you have to memorize the pattern and do it as quick as you can. I just did a little camera manipulation technique there, Doctor. Do you want to talk about that quickly?
Yeah, so if you have, let's say, a lemming on the right side of the screen, and the one you have selected, you want vision to the right side of him, then you select the other lemming, like the one to the right side of your screen, to get the camera angle different, facing wherever the other lemming was. I hope that makes sense.
yeah, just enables you to see things a little bit better.
Yeah.
So slightly not quite got the best momentum on this switchboard here. This is a tougher one to do quickly than the previous one, just because it's operating both lifts and moving platforms, and Lifts don't operate the same way, so if you actually do try to queue stack with a lift, then you'll actually end up just like stopping a lift halfway through, so you have to kind of time it properly. But here's an ambush wall. Let's just try and avoid this.
Sometimes can be a problem in this level. You seem to have managed quite well.
We're doing all right on this one. And then we're coming up to a little trick I like to call chase skip. So the flag, as you'll see here, is on a moving platform that's going to try and run away from Red Lemming here at each corner. However, if you approach it from this corner and then just spam clicks on it, then you can actually cut to the chase effectively. And that saves you probably about 40 seconds having to chase that flag around all of the towers in order to try and get it.
Yeah, so that's an important skip.
Yes.
I think the only reason it works is because you do animation skipping.
Yeah, basically. So this level is called Leap of Faith. This is one of the slightly more laid-back levels at this stage in Mayhem, although it can still trip you up if you're not careful. It's quite a bit of waiting on this, and actually I wanted to get the moving platform there at 6:45 on the IGT. Unfortunately, I missed that due to slightly sloppy movement on my part. So we're about 10 seconds behind what we could have got on this level. But like a lot of these later Mayhem levels, like, you know, the two lemmings we've got here are all we've got, basically. So if one of them dies, then it is straight back to the beginning.
Yeah, so if there are two flags you need to capture, you need two lemmings.
Yeah.
One cannot capture more than one flag, unfortunately.
That's right. So just shooting those lemmings up there, and then we're doing some diagonals on this, which is a little risky, but if you pick the right tiles to click, then that will ensure that that you move appropriately without falling in the lava. One thing that has to be said about Mayhem is that developers love lava. They absolutely love lava, and so even though this is kind of billed as a harmless sort of lemming shoot 'em up where you shoot each other with paint and there's mines that explode paint and that, they can actually get burnt to death.
Yeah, and electrocuted too.
Yes, absolutely, and they make quite terrifying noises when they do. Anyway, this is a slightly slow part, so if there's any donations you want to read out, is a good time to do so.
Actually, I just wanted to take a quick chance to plug the fact that we are only $100 away from our next milestone, which is the total amount raised for the entirety of ESA Summer 2014. So we're very fast closing in on that. And also just to give a very quick shout out to the organisation that we are all working towards, Save the Children. And just to say that with 25,000 dedicated staff all over the world, Save the Children responds to major emergencies, delivering innovative programs and ensuring children's voices are heard through their campaigning to build a better future for and with children. They've got 100 years of experience of bringing communities, civil society, governments, businesses and donors together to achieve lasting change for children. Every single dollar you raise goes straight to that charity. It's an absolutely amazing organisation. So, yeah, please do give generously when you can.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
We missed an interesting little glitch there, which is what we call perspective glitch. Basically, you may have noticed if you're paying attention that Purple Lemming kind of went behind the flag rather than through it when he collected it. It was on a moving platform that went behind it. And that's because there's just a weird little glitch in this where if you're one tile behind and one tile below an item, then the game still registers that you can collect it. So that was a nice little shortcut that you can do to get the flag on that last level.
Yeah, and I don't think that was intended, by the way.
No, I don't think it was either. And we actually use that glitch again on an upcoming level, which I'll point out when we do.
Yeah.
This is it's called Where Lemmings Dare. The first thing you might notice about this, well, it's just gone now, but this is the only level in the entire speedrun where we actually max out the timer. Because we grabbed one of those clocks that Doctor mentioned earlier, and because the starting time on this level is 9:59, it actually pushed it into the 10-minute territory. However, although the in-game clock can register a time above 9 minutes 59, it cannot display it. So it basically just waited patiently at 9:59 until the timer counted below it so that it could start going down again.
Yeah, this is also quite a slow-paced level, because most of the time you're just going to see a lemming fly around on these slippy slide roads.
Yeah, this is another claim to fame. This is the longest level in the entire game. This is the only level that we have yet to figure out how to get below 3 minutes. Although we may eventually. Dr. Entropy hasn't done a deep dive on this yet, so you may well find something I've missed. But this level it even contains a big skip at the end of it, which and even with that, it still doesn't.
Big skip that is very hard to get.
Yeah, I'll explain it when we get there. But basically, like this is another repeat map. It's a repeat of a map from Taxing called Easy Rider. And the object is we're hitting all these switches in order to raise this yellow ski slope effectively in the middle, so that we can actually slide across to get the flag, which is on an island to the southwest. The problem is that, like, because of the way the switches are laid out in the level, it actually takes 2 entire laps of the level in order to be able to activate them. And there's Red Lemming down there. You can see stuck on that little island there. And he can't get off until, well, hopefully we've completed the level by that point, but we shall see very soon. Now, this red slide here, there's switches at either end that raise or lower it so that it gets out of the way of the yellow. I did that quite a long time ago, about a minute and a half ago now, I think. And that gives you an idea of just how much stuff there is that we're kind of like passing on a loop. But we're coming up to the final switch. And I might as well explain what switch skip is now at this point, which is the skip that we're going to do. So basically, we've set up our yellow ski slope there. As you can see, it's pointing upwards now. Now, when we land on the island with the flag on it, we're actually going to trigger a pressure plate that will raise the flag on a tower that would be too high for our lemming to get it. However, if we spam this just quickly enough, then we actually just manage to get onto the tower before it becomes too high for us to do so and grab the flag. In the process.
And you also fall into the flames.
But again, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So this is this level is called Lemming Flambe. Do you want to talk a little bit about the trick that we're going to be doing quite soon?
I will say that this level is also probably RuffledBricks' favorite. That's ironic, by the way. I think you hate it.
It's basically a tightrope over a volcano, this level, and we've lost one of our lemmings. That's fine. We can afford to lose one in this level.
What RuffledBricks is doing now is the platform warp. So basically, these moving platforms, when they go over you, if you click on them, they will actually register you to be on them for some reason. And that is extremely useful just in this level and in one other level in the game. And that's the only 2 levels we've figured out to use the strat. But it saves you a ton of time.
In tricky.
Yeah, 1 level in tricky difficulty.
So this is actually... Oh, that's a reset, unfortunately. It's just slightly too quick off the platform there.
This is also the evidence that the developers really like the lava and fire pits. And call this Lemming Flambe, so you know where their mind's at.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, there's no real kind of puzzle behind this level, as Dr. Entropy's kind of pointed out. Like, there's no real kind of trick behind it. It's just don't fall off.
Don't fall off and don't get shot.
Yeah. Although, saying that, I mean, you'll notice the level is supposed to be built up of 3 kind of separate pathways to the flags, but actually we're kind of just sort of meandering between the pathways as we please, using those moving platform warps, just because like it's just a little bit quicker in terms of moving everyone together.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I guess there was a puzzle, but we're just skipping it.
Yeah, basically, a little bit. So let's try this again. So so we're dropping blue off there, wandering to the end here. And then this is a quick movement I'm doing here to try and catch this moving platform coming up here. And we got it. You have to pretty much, you cannot pause at all going up there if you want to get that platform. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait for the next cycle. Going up here, just slightly slow on red there, so I will come back to red. I've got a sort of pattern for doing this level that you can get it down so it's finished by 7:30 on the IGT, but there's a lot to remember on it, and so and this is one of those levels where you kind of, if it's a choice between safe or fast, then you go with safe every time, because otherwise it's just horrendous.
You're losing minutes.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Diagonal move there. So blue's got his flag, yellow's about to get his, and then we can go back to red just to get the last one. Going up here, over the bridge that we activate via a pressure plate, and done. There we are, 7:24, not too bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of knowing the level before you go into it in this game, as you may have noticed.
This is the other joint shortage level, by the way. It's called Nowhere to Run. It's the 12 Assassins map again, and it's exactly the same solution for that one. You'll notice that the right-hand switch was on a tower, but using perspective glitch, as we discussed a little bit earlier, then you can literally just go behind the switch and activate it. Now, this is a very complicated level with lots of movement juggling. It's called Lemmings Dilemma, and I think, Doctor, I'm going to need you to cover for me on this one as much as you possibly can.
As much as I possibly can, yeah. This central almost star of stairs will switch depending on what's being pressure plates being pushed and stuff. So that goes up and down. RuffledBricks figured out this pattern a long time ago, so he knows this by heart, but definitely not something that's easy to get into, I would say. And
it's a reset because of that.
And you have to be really, really good at timing these platforms because RuffledBricks is again Q stacking the moving platforms. He could try and play it safer, but it would take longer time by not hitting like certain switches twice to have these platforms move.
Yeah, so it's the pressure plate on the middle that changes the height of all parts of the crossroad. But at each end of the crossroad, there's also one switch that you can use to change the height of the part of the crossroad at the opposite end. That makes sense? Let's try this again. So. There we go. Nicely done.
Good.
So now, this switch, I was going to say, this switch that yellow's operating, by the way, you may notice it's actually operating two moving platforms at the same time. So you have to kind of keep an eye on the cycles for that. Yeah.
And RuffledBricks just picked up 2 keys to open some barriers later that we cannot skip.
Yes, that's right. Even though there looks like a nice gap there, but no.
Yeah, it's not possible.
And then the blue lemming is now in possession of a switch that actually moves the platform with the flag on it around the level.
Yeah.
So we need to hit that switch 3 times with blue in order to get that to a position where red is now going to be able to get it by going through this barrier and then once again operating a switch yourself, going onto the moving platform, and we got the flag.
Nice.
And if you thought that level was complicated, this one even more so. This is called.
I will also say that Lemmings Dilemma has a repeat later, which is even more complicated too. But this one's different.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Hang on. Right, I'm gonna need to concentrate on this one. So over to you, Doctor.
I will say that this level is so complicated that it's almost beyond explaining it to like a layman. But I'll try and do my best.
Just go with the basics.
Yeah, the basics. So all these red lemmings that are walking around, they hit different pressure plates that control the central path there, and also other pressure plates in the level as well, as far as I know. So RuffledBricks will shoot them to isolate the moving platforms to sit in a specific position so you can actually get over there. Then hitting some switches that you need to hit in order to get other flags. You'll release more red lemmings onto the same pass, walking in a different pattern. And they will again start to scramble this central road, which you need to go back on to get the final flags of the level. So RuffledBricks is trying to hit, and he mistimed one shot, by the way, there. But RuffledBricks was trying to hit a lemming at where they were like standing on a certain tile. There by the end
you have to hit everyone in such precise times in this level. Well, these ones are okay. These ones down here don't operate anything of note, but Oh, okay. Come on. Get it together, Bricks. You can do this.
Yeah, this takes so much timing. It's so crazy.
So yeah, if there's anything you want to read out donation-wise, then please do, because we might be here for a little while based on my current form.
All right, so absolutely. Enjoy your paint-based cannon fodder. It'll be fine. We do, in fact, have a $50 donation from Jesse Saar, who, thank you very much for that very generous donation, who writes, so excited to finally be able to watch live this year. Much love to the runners announcers who keep everything entertaining non-stop. So thank you again for that fabulous donation. That $50 has gone towards the SRM showcase for Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask All Dungeons, which is a lovely little glitch showcase that will be happening after the run, I believe, assuming the donation incentive is met. Just to give you a quick update on that one, Genesis will be showing some arbitrary stuff possible through stale reference manipulation, which is what FSR stands for. We are $340 out of 1,000, so only 660 left for that. But yeah, thanks very much for the generous donation. Back to you guys.
Thank you. Right, we nearly got it. Yeah, there's so much kind of like, and here, just shooting this last Lemming here because he's the one who's been mobilizing most of the moving platforms, and the turnaround on those last moving platforms is very quick. So just shot him to make that last bit slightly easier. And now here is the most complicated strat in the entire game. Take it away, Doctor.
Again, yeah, might almost be beyond explaining. I will say that RuffledBricks is leaving some Lemmings in the central area to actually be shot, because later he's going to use a cloning machine, and you need some dead Lemmings in order to be able to clone Lemmings. So that's just one minor detail. He's also trying to kill all the right Lemmings up the level, and as you can see, this movement juggling is taking it out on him, and unfortunately he made just the smallest mistake there and got one of the wrong Lemmings killed.
Yeah, this is the most elaborate selection of movement juggling in the entire game. And there are slower, safer strats that you can do for this, but it's a hecking marathon, you know. So I felt like we've got to showcase the big guns. So here we go.
It's a speed run, so no safe
and a
strats,
speed run as well, exactly. So you've got to do it. So there's the cloning machine. You're not going to see it in action, but because I'm going to be moving red. But you can hear the lovely noise that it makes. Feel free to imitate it at home. I sing it to myself when I get lonely. So you notice yellow went into the cloning machine, and now yellow and purple have come out. And up we go, using the key to get through here.
Yeah, and you have to use the cloning machine to get onto the path, so there's no way around that.
Yeah, so we got some balloons now. As you see, all those balloons go to the same terminus because we need all of our Lemmings to go up onto the causeway where the flags will be. Now, we're sending purple down there because he needs to take over operating the switch for the next batch of Lemmings. And shooting this dude because if we don't, then he'll pretty much be able to shoot us when we're on the platform terminus. Where the balloons are going, so I did that just preemptively there, sending these dudes down the ski slope, and I'm actually going to have to wait a little bit here because yellow is out of ammo, and the last section does need someone to be able to shoot. So I hope this goes well because I'm not really geared up for this sort of timing, but here we go.
Yeah.
So blue shot it onto the catapult and the platform of doom. Fortunately, so those two Lemmings there, if they're in the wrong position, you're dead. Basically, they'll shoot you
as you come down from the catapult flight.
And also, this part here contains the worst bit of design in the entire game. So this catapult here is actually one of the few little bits of RNG in the game. Most of the time, it will send your Lemmings onto this platform. Very occasionally, you will overshoot the platform. And if that happens, there is nothing you can do about it other than reset. Fortunately, all 4 of our lemmings landed on the platform this time, so we can go on to the last level, which is Lemmings Dilemma Part 2, effectively, or Be Careful Who You Shoot is the official title of this level. There's 2 main differences between this and Lemming Dilemma. One of them is that the crossroads is now activated by an enemy lemming walking over a pressure plate. Not that one. It's one that we're not even going to see. And the other thing that's different is that the platform with the moving flag on it is also being operated by a lemming on a pressure plate. The one over here. And now what I'm doing is I'm putting Red in a very specific position over there because he's actually going to control the flow of that platform with the flag on it. So he's standing in a position where Red is trying to shoot at him. He's not going to get shot because of the angle, but I'm going to keep Red there until we get purple. Oh, pick up the post line until we get purple onto a bit. And I might actually need to operate the switch again because I've been a little bit too slow for getting this part of the crossroads. It changes height every 7 seconds. Yeah, we are. So I'm just going to lower that bit. Move him across, and then as he goes across, we can move Red from the position that was holding the enemy limit. And time is going to come up when we grab the flag, just FYI. Oh, although I've actually, again, may have been a little bit too slow there. Let's just see how we go. And time. And that is
well done.
All of Mayhem, speedrun of Lemmings Paintball. And we are rewarded with a nice little Tarantino pastiche in the end sequence here. How did we do on the time on that run?
Time was 40 minutes and 13 seconds.
Okay, not bad.
So comfortably below estimates.
Yes, we got. I managed to get 33:10 as my PB this week, which was a 5-minute increase or decrease on the time, however it works. So,
which is an insanely good run, by the way.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting anything close to that, but 40,
no one was expecting a 33 minutes out of RuffledBricks.
But 40 works very well. So thank you very much for having me again. Much appreciated.
All right, fantastic. Well, we've got a couple more donations, and we'll let you do your shout outs and your goodbyes. We have $5 from Stubbsy, who says, "Good luck, RuffledBricks, and may the cat spots be kind." Bah! And
he's always on message, that kid.
Yeah, it's true. And Oromit has donated $25, saying researchers are unsure exactly how a cat purrs. Most veterinarians believe that a cat purrs by vibrating vocal folds deep in the throat. To do this, a muscle in the larynx opens and closes the air passage about 25 times per second. So thank you very much for the $25 and for the cat facts. We're actually only now $27 away from our ESA 2014 grand total. So very cool. Keep those donations going, guys. So RuffledBricks, Entropy, any shout outs, last words before
well, Dr. Entropy, you go first.
Well, shout out to Stubbsy. He's currently the only other speedrunner of Lemmings Paintball other than me and RuffledBricks. So shout out to Stubbsy.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to learn how to do this, just hit any of us up. We'll show you the way.
We have an active speedrun page too, and just PB any of us.
Yeah, and I'm on twitch.tv/RuffledBricks if you want to see me speedrun games with this sort of graphic style, and twitch.tv/Dr. Entropy for you, Doctor?
Yeah, that's my twitch.tv. Thank you. If you can give me a follow if you want to see this also. Yeah,
and thank you so much to ESA for hosting us, and keep on saving the children. It's a great cause.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, guys. For bringing back that game as well. It's been literal decades since I've played it, so it's really, really good to see that being destroyed quite so handily. Coming up next, after the intermission, Savage Brick will be bringing us Spore, the game that's already raised about $150 worth of donations.
Another member of the Brick family.
Bidding war. Yeah. This is Brick.
We've got a whole wall going on tonight.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. We're building up walls, and then, well, I mean, you guys are doing pretty well with those walls, but brick block, which does sound like a children's toy, but this is what we've got now. Just so you guys know, we are still taking in donations for the bidding war with the different creature names. I won't go through all of them, but suffice to say, John Madden is still $30 ahead of Eugene Krabs, Agric Dog 2, Pre Malone, Secret Tunnel, and Tricro in that order. So not long left if you want to change the creature name. And that will be coming up very soon. Don't go too far. Stretch your legs, cup of tea, water, whatever you like. And we'll see you soon after the intermission.